freshman Jacob Rasholi. Facing from Oregon, a junior Jay Dermay. At 120 pounds from Fort Atkinson, a sophomore Tristan Trevino will receive a forfeit. At 126 pounds from Oregon, a junior Steele Mellum will receive a forfeit. At 132 pounds from Fort Atkinson, a senior Dragon Sigmund. And from Oregon, a senior Connor Ripley. At 138 pounds from Fort Atkinson, a freshman Zayden Sigmund will receive a forfeit. At 145 pounds from Fort Atkinson, a senior Nico Rasholi will receive a forfeit. At 152 pounds from Fort Atkinson, a sophomore Brent Taranka. And from Oregon, a sophomore Samuel Rigger. At 160 pounds from Fort Atkinson, a junior Riley Kaler. And from Oregon, a senior Devin Keys. At 170 pounds from Fort Atkinson, a junior Lewis Jones. And from Oregon, a junior Robbie Rue. At 182 pounds from Fort Atkinson, a freshman Jacob Horvaten will receive a forfeit. And at 195 pounds from Fort Atkinson, a freshman Thomas Whitkins. And from Oregon, a sophomore Nathan Hall. The Fort Atkinson Blackhawks are coached by head coach Ryan Gerber, assisted by Abe Graziano, Ryder Heavy, Weston Klink, and Matt Majors. Your Oregon Panthers are coached by head coach Ned Leese, assisted by Kevin Summers, Pete Eckhart, and Don Goldberg. Tonight's official is Greg Krantz. Coaches and captains, please report to the mat.
At what point should we start talking, man? Oh. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages. We are here tonight watching a little bit of wrestling at Oregon High School. Program made possible in part with support from our generous sponsors, Oregon Community Bank, Bill's Food Center, William R. Torhurst and Associates, Stoughton Hospital, Oregon Urgent Care and Sports Medicine Clinic, Maria's Pizza, Ziggy's Barbecue, Smokehouse and Ice Cream, the Oregon Chamber of Commerce, the Oregon Athletic Booster Club, Oregon Youth Basketball, and OCAmedia wishes to thank Oregon School District for its ongoing support. So, forgive us, it's our first time broadcasting anything, but we're here to, give our expertise and have a good time.
Yeah.
Now wrestling at 220 pounds from Fort Atkinson, a senior
starting to get underway here.
Christian Carlos is first year wrestling, so at a serious, experience and probably technique disadvantage, but that'll happen.
It's gonna give it your heart if you're going out there the first time.
Oh, it's a very brave thing. Takedown goes to Fort Atkinson. 2 points.
Just a simple mistake made by Christian Carlos there.
Let him get behind him when he was on the ground. Give up hip control. Christian's got to get up to his base. He can't be laying on his stomach like that. But as long as you stay off your back, you're doing all right.
It's really keeping away that power half that Fort's trying to get in there.
Working an arm bar all the way across. Ooh, that's no fun on your shoulder.
Rest and go.
But he's not letting them turn him.
No.
And small victories.
He's got to start doing something, though. Otherwise, he might get a stalling call here.
Yeah, and you only get one of those warnings, then you start giving up points. And, ooh, getting turned. Fort Atkinson earning near fall points because one shoulder is on the ground, but not a pin yet because still got that one up in the air. Christian's got to try to, you can't fight that pressure. He's got to try to roll through at this point.
And that's just a simple arm bar right there.
That's, and called a pin. That's 16 points for Fort Atkinson. But when you're wrestling at the 220 weight class, that's a strong guy with a whole lot of experience. And the guy who's probably wrestled 15 matches, if that, to this point, that's pretty much the result you'd expect.
That's kind of how it is with wrestling, though. I mean, simple arm bar gets the pin, and usually it's just simple moves that tend to get them.
Yeah, because I think that kid's a high school senior. He's been wrestling at least 12 years, probably, knowing how wrestling is. They start at a pretty young age, especially in a town like Fort Atkinson. And there's no substitute for mat time. You can be the greatest athlete out there, but can't beat experience in this sport.
Now wrestling at 106 pounds from Fort Atkinson, a sophomore Sawyer Brandenburg. And from Oregon, a junior, Faith Trinidad.
His Faith's second year wrestling, so she's still working up that mat time and experience that we were talking about with Christian.
Two takedown Fort right there.
Working a half Nelson in there. Trying to get her turned to her back. Ooh, getting back points. And probably pretty close to a pin if she doesn't get bridged. And there's the pin. Another 16 points to Fort Atkinson.
Winner at 106 pounds by fall at 31 seconds from Fort Atkinson.
What Faith is doing is not an easy task. I mean,
No.
she is a girl and she's trying out in this sport, but it's like, it doesn't matter.
No. There are girls who have seen a decent amount of success in this sport, but it's hard. It's a hard sport for anyone, but I think as two former wrestlers sitting here, we would say it's probably worth it. It's a one-of-a-kind experience. They're both three-sport athletes in high school, but nothing's as hard as this sport. It can teach you as much.
This is definitely the hardest sport I've ever done. Practice is the most intense thing ever, and you just have to go out one-on-one and wrestle someone.
Now we got Jade Germay out on the mat for Oregon. Her second year of wrestling as well. She and Faith came out as kind of a partnership last year. Came up to the room, trying something new. And two to Fort Atkinson for takedown on a low single. Now he's working single armbar, it looks like. Maybe trying to get nope, just single. She's building up to her base better than either of the two before we saw. Ref stopped it for a potentially dangerous.
She's working good for getting back up to her base, trying to avoid that tilt.
Yep. When you're on bottom, you can't just lay on your stomach. You got to try to get up to your knees and hands and then eventually stand up and get out of there again.
It's just got to be a scramble. You can't stop moving.
Nope. Got to hustle. But as we both know, that no matter how much conditioning you put in during practice, at this point in a match, a minute in, you're gassed. You're already gassed. It's hard. It is exhausting to fight another human being with, you know, all that you got.
It's just the mental toughness you got to have.
Oh yes, for sure.
Still working in that arm bar.
Also he's laced a leg in there. Try to get her turned. Earning back points. She's bridging, trying to punch an arm through so she can back over to her stomach again. Stay off that back.
As long as she keeps bridging, she can keep away from that pin, but she's got to get out of there.
Yeah, you can't be on your back very long without. Yeah, he's got both arms in the air.
He's got double unders. Nope, one over.
If he can lift her head off the mat and she can't bridge, and then she's pinned, so she's got to really work to control her own head and get rolled over eventually. There she is. She's getting back over to her stomach. He's still trying to tilt her.
9 seconds left in this round. She avoid that pin.
And live to see another day.
3 near fall points for Fort.
Oregon has choice, and she chooses to go top, so she's gonna be riding in this to begin this period. Fort stands up right away and gets 2 reversal points for switching control.
That's that quick scramble.
Yeah, years of muscle memory there and quickness. Ref stops the match for equipment. She was losing her headgear and hairnet combo. Sport of wrestling, anyone with long enough hair that it can cover your eyebrows, or any longer than that, you're required to wear a hairnet for safety purposes. Just to clarify. Resume this match. Jade will be bottom. Still working to get that escape.
Nope. Fort is going for the tilt. 2-on-1 with the arm.
Ref stops the match for another potentially dangerous. He was getting her arm cranked a little beyond parallel on her back.
Starting to wing it there.
And, you know, it's hard on her shoulder. And also, ref must see blood on somebody because starting blood time. And Ford is visiting with our wonderful athletics trainer, Cindy. Does great work here.
I would have to say that wrestling is one of those sports that I kind of feel doesn't get as respected as much as other sports.
Most definitely not.
People don't really understand that what a wrestler has to go through in a normal week if they have a match on, say, Friday. Usually start of practices on Monday, go through, and they have to try and maintain their weight to make their weight class.
Yeah, so early days of the week, you're probably gonna be over your weight class a little bit, a couple pounds, but as long as you don't get too nuts, you'll be fine. And then later the week gets, you gotta watch how much water you're taking in and watch how much food you're putting in your body. And by the match time on Friday, you better be below your weight class.
And that's just hard on most wrestlers.
Yeah.
Just having to watch that.
Yeah, and that's what makes wrestling different, because ref stops the match for another illegal chicken wing, in his words. But yeah, going back to that, that's what sets wrestling apart, because we got practices, we got competition, we got school, just like every other sport, but there's no other sport where you have to, step on a scale a couple times every day and make sure that you're not getting too big or too small, depending on what you're trying to do.
Now, when I had to wrestle, I was the heavyweight, so I had anywhere from 220 pounds to 285 pounds that I could be in, and I never really had to maintain my weight that much.
Fort worked in a pretty good half Nelson there and got her rolled over on her back, and with her 2 feet in the air, she's got nothing to bridge off of, and really hard to compete from that position. But yeah, wrestling doesn't get the respect it deserves. I mean, most people don't understand it, but it's a lot healthier than it used to be.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of rules that the WIA itself looks at, and the WIA knows a couple weeks into practice with a process called the skin fold test, how low you can go weight-wise, and then they track your weight through every competition of the season to make sure you're not losing too much too fast. They just changed the rule up. Now I believe it's based on a percentage scale of body weight and how much you can lose per day or per week, but up until this year it was a ½ pound per day. So let's say you had a match Monday and then a match Friday, and you wanted to drop the weight class to be a weight class lower on Friday, you'd have to, be within 2.5 pounds on Monday, because that's 5 days, ½ pound a day. It's a shame we don't get to see Steele wrestle today. He is always fun to watch. Those lower weights, got a lot of quickness. Pretty strong kid too. He's great technique-wise too.
It's always fun watching the lower weight scramble. It's just something different, because we were both heavier weight classes, and it was just more power, when all the smaller weight classes, all just quickness and technique.
Oh yeah, it's almost overwhelming watching some of those lower weights go at it, because they're always moving, and as Coach Lee says, looks like 2 cats rolling around in a bag. You just gotta wait till the dust settles to start calling points, because if you call every reversal and every takedown you see, you're just gonna be raising your hands left and right.
Now wrestling at 138 pounds from Fort Atkinson, senior.
Oh, we got Connor Berkeley up. He's always fun to watch. Good technician.
Oh, great technician. And at this weight class, he's a pretty strong kid. He's working on a dairy farm the past couple of years, and got that country strength. And he's also a cross-country runner at Oregon High School, so he's got conditioning. And how many years did he say he's been wrestling on that little sheet over there? 8 years.
8 years of wrestling.
He's been at it a while. He knows what's. He's got wrestling IQ. Not only does he know the technique and everything, but when it comes to crunch time in matches, he knows what he should be doing and what he shouldn't be doing. Connor earned 2 points with the takedown there early in the first period.
Got around him on a shot. One escape for Fort there.
Yep. Looks like Connor cut the kid so he could get up and get a chance to take him down again. Nothing wrong with that strategy, as long as you can take him down. Trying to shoot a high crotch across the body there. Didn't quite get home.
Could have done classic knee bump, high crotch, get past that elbow there.
Yeah. Gotta really drop his level to get beneath this kid. There he goes.
Just like that. Got the single there for a 2 takedown.
Got around behind him, he's controlling the hips, and that's 2 points. Working an arm bar now. And with the new rules installed this year, you can pin somebody anywhere on the mat as long as their feet are inside the circle. It used to be you have to try to drag them back in the ring so their both shoulders were inside that big circle.
You're fine there. Good job. You're out of there now. No face now.
Now the wrestlers are out of bounds. Connor will be on top.
With 1 second remaining in the period, so just don't let him up and he'll keep his lead.
End of the period. Red's choice.
Choice goes to Fort. He defers. Connor chooses to go neutral. Both wrestlers on their feet. He's looking for more takedowns. Coach is telling them to take shots, then get in on his opponent's head. Really, so they don't really know what you're trying to do. You're taking shots, you're pulling down on their head. They don't know if you're going after their legs or if you're trying to get them in with a front head or another upper body type maneuver.
Unders. Yeah.
Fort's got one underhook in on him. Let go of that.
Set it up, there you go. Move, let's go. Clear the rest again.
Fort looks to be working that underhook tie quite a bit, so he could be either looking for a high crotch or maybe some sort of throw.
Both wrestlers keeping their feet moving. That's always a key in a match.
Especially at these lower weights. Big guys, you know, sometimes forget to move around a little bit. They get tired. Fort hasn't gotten the 2 points yet. It's on Connor's head, but Connor doesn't let him control his hips, so they're still neutral. No points awarded anywhere.
Connor is really working for Fort's right leg there. Trying to go for a single or a high crotch.
Oregon coaches telling Connor to keep moving his feet and keep circling to try to maybe get around this kid a little bit. You circle your feet, sometimes get a little closer to one side or the other of your opponent, and you can get hand on a leg. And kind of still trying to shoot that high crotch.
About 10 seconds left in this period, then we go to the third.
And it'll be Fort's choice because he deferred to start the second.
Around here and get a quick 2 points.
Connor gets around for 2 points as the period expires. That was a pretty good takedown. Brought him down to the mat with a front head and then hurried around behind him, got his 2. That's a drill that gets used quite a bit in the practice room. Fort chooses to go down for this period, looking for points on the escape here. Connor's currently leading the match 8-1, which is a decision, which would be 3 team points.
Connor did have laces, but gave up on his going towards arms.
If Connor gets his lead up to 8 or more points, then he'll earn his team 4 team points for a major decision.
Connor threw in a leg that decided to stop. Really starting to turn him.
This is the point in the match where coaches start to talk about kids being broken, per se, where you can tell that you're really in your opponent's head and that you've got them beat, and you really can, you know, impose your will on them. And we're getting to that point with this Fort kid, it looks like. Connor's working him pretty good. He's got a leg laced now, and he's trying to get his head turned, get some back points.
Power half there.
Connor's earning back points now, but he wants a pin. Just under a minute left in the period.
Fort getting their escape there. Wrestlers are out of bounds, and with that escape point, they will now go neutral.
Connor snapping his head down, trying to get him on the ground and get around behind him like he did to end the last period. The Fort kid's still shooting at his legs. And they're about to go out of bounds here. Yep. Wrestler from Fort's looking pretty tired, which to be expected. But looks like Connor can really do pretty much whatever he wants at this point.
Going back to that where it's kind of in the third period, a wrestler will be like broken basically. I mean,
Connor almost made a huge mistake there to end the period, but no points awarded. He couldn't get him turned. Could almost got Connor put on his back in 10 more seconds. Who knows how that one would have ended, but 3 team points to Oregon for the decision out of Connor Brickley.
Winner
This is what's pretty hard on a team. If they cannot fill a complete team, then they're giving up forfeits every meet, and it just does not help them.
No. Let's see. That's our third forfeit of the night, at least. And there's our 16 points apiece, and that's an 18-point deficit already. And I believe we have 8 matches, so we're going to be looking at 5 forfeits, 6 forfeits. Maybe. Check my math later. And that's a lot of team points for a team to try to overcome, especially with a young roster like Oregon has.
I mean, working youth tournaments, we see the Oregon youth team all the time, and it's like they have plenty of wrestlers, but it's
The youth program is humongous.
It's just they have to stick through it, and hopefully someday we can fill a complete team.
Yeah, because schools like Stoughton, Milton, Fort Atkinson, they do it year after year. They have tons of talent. They're perennial contenders for team state type stuff. Fort got an early takedown there. Krieger's working up to his feet. He's trying to get his one escape point. He's working pretty hard for it.
Get his hips away.
There he goes.
There's that one escape.
This is also Krieger's second year of wrestling. He's pretty new to it, but
He's got heart.
Oh yeah, we've both practiced with the kid. He works hard. It's a very hard sport to pick up, technique and otherwise, but he works about as hard as a kid can at it. Fort earns another takedown there, another 2 points.
Wrestlers are out of bounds, going to referee's position.
Krieger's going to be down and hope to work that stand-up one more time, because he was pretty close to getting out there.
Just got to move fast, make quick decisions. Get his hips away. Fort return him to the mat there.
Good rear standing mat return. Always fun to see. Out of bounds again, return to referee's position because Krieger did not earn his escape yet.
He's working that stand-up good.
Yeah.
He's got to get his hips away a little more.
Fort does not have much forward pressure into him because he looks to be able to stand up right off the whistle. Yeah, not even much of a knee slide out of Krieger, and he's able to stand right up. Fort had little to no forward pressure, but doesn't let go of control there. So Krieger has yet to earn his one, but he wiggles out of bounds once again, and they'll return to refs. Fort Atkinson wrestler standing up, interestingly. Wrestlers are pretty unique. They have their own ways of doing things.
That's very true.
Krieger with a knee slide and then classic crawl. Trying to break Fort's hands apart so he can turn around and face him and earn his one. Fort brings him back down to the mat, and he's got to start that process all over again. Fort's got I don't even know if I'd call that a bar in, but 2 back points awarded for the 3 count with 1 shoulder down. Fort's choice defers.
I really wouldn't even know what to call that.
No, sometimes that'll happen. You just do what works. That's wrestling. It's gotta. If you take time to think about it, you're beat.
Like classic example is when in Wanakee JV meet, we were at the tournament and you stack the kid to win, and you didn't know what that was. I mean, neither did I.
Yeah, no, you just do what feels right and do what gets you points, and it'll work out for you. Actually, wrestling, it's all about never stopping moving, never stopping trying things. Because, like I said, if you stop to think on the mat, you're done. That was one of my main problems at the varsity levels. I could compete with the kids physically, but they had me beat technique-wise, and then certain points in matches, I'd start to panic because I didn't know what move to hit, and next thing you know, you're on your back, counting the lights on the ceiling.
Fort was trying to work in the cradle there, now he's got the half.
Got Krieger on his back. Krieger's rolling out of it. I don't think it's a pin yet, but trying to roll back to him, and that's not going to work. Got to roll away here, even though he's got that arm.
Got his arm through.
Out of bounds. That's another 3 near fall to Fort Atkinson. Match score is now 9-1 in favor of the wrestler from Fort, with 1 minute left in the second period.
Now, if Krieger could just quickly hip heist and face him, then he could easily get the 1 point. But I mean,
yeah, stand-ups aren't the only way to get your escape point, but they're the first you'll learn and probably the easiest technique to learn. There he hits a pretty good stand-up, gets away, faces his opponent, and earns his 1. Looking at a 92 match with 50 seconds left in the second period.
Fort was trying to work in like a standing cradle type thing there.
Yeah, just have to assume this kid from Fort's pretty well experienced, and Krieger doesn't have that experience. So sometimes these experienced guys start to experiment a little bit on underexperienced opponents. I fell victim to a couple experiments every now and then.
Fort's got a deep half there and is earned the pin.
And that's mentally pretty hard on a young wrestler like Krieger, but that's what happens because his opponent's been wrestling quite a while. He knows what to do on the mat, and that's what's hardest about wrestling is picking up the countless moves and techniques and everything else that goes with it.
I mean, you just learn from your matches. You know what you like and what you don't like. Get your number 1 takedown, your number 2 takedowns, all your backups. And you just learn.
A phrase we use a lot is mat time, because just every time you wrestle, you're getting better and better because you know what you're going to do, you know what to do, you know what to start to expect out of your opponents. Now we got Robbie Ruth coming to wrestle.
Good old Robbie Ruth.
He is one of my favorite wrestlers to watch. He is one of the longer wrestlers you'll ever see.
Yep.
Wrestlers are typically pretty short, kind of stocky little kids, but Robbie stands somewhere between 6'2", 6'3", and he's got arms of a guy taller than that. Wrestling him in practice was never a whole lot of fun because you could be standing across the mat from him and he just reaches one of those extendo arms out and he'll pick your ankle.
I mean, it was fun wrestling Robbie in practice because, I mean, it's Robbie. He's a really nice guy. I mean,
yeah, fun fact about Robbie Ruth, kid's homeschooled. He also shows horses and ponies at the local fairs through Oregon 4-H. We're in what looks to turn into a stalemate here. Both kids have a leg and no one's going to earn any points. So the ref should probably stop this match at some point soon, and they go back to the neutral position. I think that's what Robbie's waiting on.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's waiting for, really, personally, but hey. There it is.
Stalemate.
Stalemate call. Back to neutral.
Wrestling Robbie in practice, I came back this week and practiced with the team, and I was told to be practice partners with Robbie for one day.
Yeah.
It was just, it's fun, but he's a really good wrestler. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Robbie, another little tidbit about Robbie. Robbie hasn't been able to go live in quite a bit. He's been dealing with a MCL sprain, I believe. And were you able to wrestle him live in practice this week?
No, he was mainly conditioning, so I mean, to come back and...
No one was expecting him to be able to compete tonight, but that's Robbie. He wanted to come out here and for the last home dual meet of the year and compete. Because as an athlete, that's what you're looking to do every day. Is you want to compete. That's what drives you to be out here in the first place.
Just have fun with it.
Parents are down in the stands yelling just to have fun with it, and you know, that's what it's all about.
I'd agree with that, yeah.
If you're able to combine wrestling and fun, you're doing it right. That's sometimes a hard thing to, make meet, but if you're doing that, you're doing it right.
Wrestling is a really serious sport, but I mean, you gotta have fun. So.
Yeah. Background knowledge on your commentators tonight. I'm Sam Reynolds. I'm a senior here at Oregon High School. Compete in football and throw and track. And I started wrestling my sophomore year, went through it my junior year, and senior year I'm held out because of a pretty serious shoulder injury. Wrestling was the hardest thing I ever did, but the only thing worse than wrestling is not wrestling. I miss it a ton.
And my name is Garrett Johnson. I graduated last year from Oregon High School, and I competed in football, wrestled, and threw in track also. And I started wrestling my junior year of high school, which, I mean, some people think that's really late, but I mean, Coach Lease asked me if I wanted to get into it, and I said, sure, I'll take the leap and try it.
Actually, I believe your exact words were, I will if you will, talking to me. Lease came back after both of us pretty simultaneously. And we didn't really know what we were getting into. We're being completely honest.
I remember our first practice when we walked up the stairs, they were putting together all the mats, taping them, mopping them. We had no idea what was happening.
Yeah, we were getting yelled at by the assistant coaches who didn't know it was our first practice on why we weren't helping, and we didn't know how to help at the time. Robbie has earned 2 reversal points. He started out the period on bottom, and he gained control. So now with 1:30 left in the period, Robbie's on top.
And going back to what you were saying about not wrestling your senior year and how you missed it, I mean, my senior year, first duel of the year, I tore my meniscus and I wasn't able to wrestle for the rest of the year. I was still on the team and did all the workouts, but I was just missing that competition.
Robbie's got a good near side cradle in right now. He earned 3 back points. Got a 5 count, a near fall. Earned himself 3 back points. Match score is now 5-0 in favor of a kid from Oregon.
Break the hips back down. Hang out. Forward.
Robbie's doing a really good job of breaking him down, keeping him out of his base.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can keep a kid, if you're on top and you can keep your opponent on their stomach and keep him out of the position he's working up to now, on your knees and on your hands, you're doing well, and then you can start to work to turn. Robbie's getting a far side cradle in now. And getting him on his back, and Robbie needs to put his head in his opponent's temple and put his knee in his opponent's side and get his shoulders on the ground. Earn himself 2 more back points.
Robbie really does like going for the cradle. I will admit that.
With arms that long, what choice do you have?
Yeah.
As long as Robbie is also freakishly strong. Maybe doesn't show it in the weight room as much during workouts, but you wrestle that Robbie kid and you'll figure out that he can hold his own. Robbie hasn't let go of him yet. Oh, good rear standing mat return by Robbie Ruth. Did he get any back points out of it? 2 more back points to Robbie Ruth. Got the kid, got one of the shoulders on the ground. Rear standing mat returns, those are fun. Not gonna lie. It's neutral to start this 3rd period. Robbie leading 9-0. Kid shoots a high crotch on Robbie. Robbie's not letting him finish it. Oh, kid gets the 2 takedown points. Ref thought he was controlling his hips. Robbie looks to be reversing.
Reversal.
Yeah, there it is.
And Robbie's starting to get back points.
Oh, Robbie pinned him. Big win for Robbie Ruth. Kid had control and just made one yeah, that's a word. A little lapse in judgment, one little mistake, and Robbie made him pay for it, which any good experienced wrestler will.
That takedown could have been maybe an early call. I mean, Robbie still had Fort's head, but I mean,
yeah,
that's always up to the refs. I mean, what the refs say is how it goes, and you can't argue with it.
You have no time to argue that. And I don't think that 2 points affected Robbie much because he had soon reversed it and put the kid on his back. Moving to our last match of the evening. Nathan Hall is his 1st-year wrestler. He's a sophomore, I believe. Wrestling at the 195 weight class, which from personal experience I can tell you is a pretty tough weight class. Got kids that are pretty big, pretty strong, but still pretty athletic.
What is it that usually is 182 is the toughest weight class?
Yeah, when I was competing, I was moving back and forth between 82, 95, and I even wrestled a couple 220 matches. Quick throw style takedown. Kid has Nate on his back. Nate's fighting hard not to get pinned here. Lifting up on his head so he can't bridge.
There you go, got that.
Nate was able to roll back over to his stomach. Good move.
Wrestler's out of bounds, going back to the center.
Hall now has time to hit the reset button and start from fresh from the referee's position.
Fort was really going for like a bear hug or kind of just a complete toss. I mean,
yeah, kind of a Greco-Roman style type deal. Nate needs to keep his head up. If he rolls his head down and tries to do a forward roll here, then he's going to get rolled onto his back and eventually stacked. Ref stopped it for potentially dangerous because thought he had a lot of weight on his chin and head with his body in the air.
I mean, that's usually not fun, so.
Usually potentially dangerous, that's the name. Nate tries to work up to his feet, pushed back down.
Again, knee slide, hustle, hustle.
Working a knee slide, trying to get out of there. Fort wrestler appears to be working what was a bar on the left side.
Trying to look for that tilt.
Yep.
Don't go with it.
He's got a leg laced in, and he's also working a power half on Nate's left side. Nate's now on his back, and he's trying to roll through. He needs to punch one of his arms across his chest and get rolled and get off his back. There's
Doing
that,
really good.
there's that punch
fighting
through.
away that pin.
Yeah. 3 back points for Fort Atkinson there. Match score 8-0 in favor of Fort. And the team points, in case we hadn't checked in a while, are now 60-15 in favor of Fort Atkinson.
Fort working on the bar there, that looks good.
Looks to be pretty close to a pin here.
He still has that one.
Oh, there he goes, rolls out. Saved by the bell, as they say. End of first period. Fort has choice. He chooses to defer. And Nate is being told by his coaches to go. He was told to go neutral. Nate signaled top on top to the ref.
I mean, I saw Coach Summers say top and Coach Lee say neutral. I mean,
You know, that's, if your coaches don't agree, you got to make that decision on your own, I guess. And
ooh, going for the cradle.
Nate's got a pretty strong cradle, and it looks like he's getting back points here. I'm impressed.
I will admit, wrestling him for the 1 week that I've been up in the room with them, he is pretty good with that cradle. He is pretty strong.
And that'll happen early in your wrestling career. You'll develop a move or two that you work on a little bit more than the others because it feels nice, and you get pretty good at it pretty quick.
Nate's doing good, keep on top. He's kind of getting his hips a little too far forward.
Yeah, he's got to get back behind him so he doesn't get rolled or something. Kid hit a switch on Nate. He turned around, grabbed one of his legs, and got 2 reversal points.
Wrestlers are out of bounds. Oregon will be on bottom, Fort on top.
Caution, somebody moved early. He tried to get up to his feet. Got thrown right back down.
Fort almost got a tilt right there.
Fort's working a half in on his right side. Nate's trying to sit out, which is another method of escape as compared to a stand-up.
Sit out and like hip heist. Get out of that.
Nate's back up on his feet.
There we go.
Turn around, and that should be reversal points. Now Nate's got to try to turn this.
Nate trying to work in a butch by the looks of it, but he didn't have Fort's left arm.
Well,
Fort's working up to his base.
Nate's working a hard crossface, trying to get either that butch or something else, but he's getting across his face.
Trying to work in that cradle again. Good chin drop him right there.
Nate didn't let the kid escape or let him reverse him, which is what the kid's going for. We're trying to get to a power half from the looks of it. Kid hit a switch.
Escape point.
Escape. Quick shot out of Fort. And, Nate hit a sprawl and tried to get around, but kid had an arm around him.
So one thing they're trying to get around when they sprawl, he's got to block their arms.
Yeah. Fort Atkinson wrestler chooses to go neutral here. They're both on their feet, but somebody's got to get a takedown. Both wrestlers looking pretty tired, which
Fort's working double unders.
probably looking for a throw.
For a
Yep.
cross.
It was a good throw, and he had good control. He didn't slam him or anything. Kept it legal, and got the pin on Nate Hall.
I would say for this being his first year, that was a really good match.
That was I'm impressed with that match, considering how he's probably wrestled 10, 15 here maybe. That was our last match of the night. Fort Atkinson winning this dual matchup, 66-15 team point wise.
And this program is made possible in part with support from our generous sponsors: Oregon Community Bank, Bill's Food Center, William R. Torhorse and Associates, Stoughton Hospital, Oregon Urgent Care and Sports Medicine Clinic, Maria's Pizza, Ziggy's Barbecue Smokehouse and Ice Cream, the Oregon Chamber of Commerce, the Oregon Athletic Booster Club, and Oregon Youth Basketball. OCAmedia wishes to thank the Oregon School District for its ongoing support.
Well, it's been fun calling this game with you, Garrett. And maybe we'll get to do this again next year. I believe this is the Panthers' last home match of this year, though.
Yep. Nice working with you.
Yep. Have a good evening, folks.